So, as everyone I'm sure knows, because I think I did a video about it, I don't remember. I'm old, and I don't remember what I even did today. So, you know, but The Acolyte has been canceled. There's going to be no season two, but there are people who want season two, for whatever reason. All like minuscule amount of people. Um, but you have people like this. So um, they use this video. What's harder than this? So you have these guys hard at work, a lot of physical, manual labor, sweat, bodies probably feeling like they're going to break by the end of the day when they go home. And these people are taking this video and whining about the Acolyte. So what's harder than this? Tweeting positively about the Acolyte without a clan meeting in the replies. Because, if you don't like the Acolyte, it's because you're racist, not because its show sucks. No, it's because you're racist. Um, Another one I saw was this, in case y'all were wondering what the High Republic Star Wars is all about. This is why the weirdos are crying about not getting season 2 of The Acolyte. And we've seen this time and time again. These people who are like, oh, well, I was never going to be interested in this, but now after seeing this, I think I'm going to watch it. So I've never given a shit about the Star Wars series, but oh my god, there's gay people? I feel totally represented now, and I'm going to watch it. Um, I like this one. Not liking a show with terrible pacing, writing, acting does not equal me being part of the KKK. Come on, look at my skin color for fuck's sake. Yeah. Are they in the room with us right now? Like, okay, I got this episode 3. What episodes and scenes do you recommend that are epic? Critiquing the Acolyte without being labeled as a bigot. Yeah, there you go. Um, but then there's been a petition to season 2. So this is Screen Rant. Renew the Acolyte fan petition breaks 30,000 milestone as fan campaign continues. You people do know that it's going to take more than 30,000 people to get it back, right? I'm sure the show had more than 30,000 people watching it and it failed. So do you know how many people would have to sign that petition to get it back? Just saying. Fans of the Acolyte are petitioning for its renewal, reaching 30,000 signatures on change.org within days of its cancellation. The show's cancellation sparked a passionate outcry, with fans pleading for the chance to see the story continue. Despite Disney's silence on the matter, fans remain hopeful and united in their effort to save the Acolyte and showcase its importance for representation in the Star. See, that's all they fucking care about. That's all these people care about is fucking representation. Not about the story, not about characters, not about the franchise as a whole that has been around for what, 40 years, 40, 50 years now. No. Representation. Again, it's going to take more than 30,000 signatures. I don't know the exact amount of exact number of people watching who were watching The Acolyte when it was on, but I bet you more it was 30,000. It was more than 30,000. Even if it was a million, just say it was a million, even a million people still got canceled. So you're going to need a lot of people in order to convince anyone to waste money for a second season. In the wake of the Acolyte's cancellation, fans of the show began a petition asking the Star Wars reverse the decision, and the campaign just hit a major milestone. The Acolyte had many controversies, but a significant portion of Star Wars fan base who also enjoyed the show and wanted to see a second season wanted to see what a second season could bring. Despite the split audience, the Acolyte's cancellation was a shock. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't a shock, particularly given how quickly the news came after the show's finale. In fact, it was a significant departure from other Star Wars movies and TV shows that have instead quietly not been renewed. Now, the Acolyte fans are taking to social media and change.org to try and save the show. Yeah, right. The same people who, these who care about representation, these are the same people like with like Genshin. They're saying that they're boycotting the game, but they still play it, but just free to play. These people don't understand how things work. They just don't. Like, you're going to need more than 30,000 signatures to do this. I mean, actually, I'm curious. I'm gonna try looking up the number. All right, so I looked up and it says like the first episode within like the first day or two garnered like 11.1 million views. So yeah, you're gonna need a lot of signatures to convince anyone to bring it back. I mean, 30,000, that's a drop in the bucket. That's nothing compared to 11 million. So assuming they, even if it had a slow drop off, even at the end, even if at the very end it only had like 2 to 3, like maybe just generous, like 5 million views for that episode. That's still 5 million views. That's still a lot. Well, I mean, it's going to be more than just, you're going to need more than 30,000 signatures to bring it back. You're going to need more than 5 million signatures in order to do it. Because if there was 5 million people watching the show at its, end or during, and it still got canceled, yeah, you're going to need more than 5 million to get it back. 30,000 is not going to do it. Um, it's easy to see why fans of the Acolyte will be fighting. No, it actually is hard to see why, because I don't. It's terrible acting, terrible writing, messing with lore, bringing characters in who shouldn't even be there, having sexual tension, Osha staring at the dude's dick for 15 seconds, the lesbian space witches and the, oh, I was going to let her go, but you only say that after you were trying to kill the Jedi there. I mean, slow pacing. I mean, it's a plethora of things. It's a plethora of things, and but no, you should bring it back because it had representation. It changed our blah blah blah. The Acolyte introduced characters that enabled again, again with this fucking representation. That introduced characters that enabled viewers to see themselves. What character was introduced that allowed them to see themselves? What character? Please do tell. Are they saying that there's never been black people in the? There has, all the way back in like the original trilogy. So, are you saying because women? No, women were very prominent in Star Wars. So I mean, where's the lack of representation? These people act like Star Wars is like this new thing that hasn't been out since like 1970. So, but what do we expect from a bunch of stupid fucking kids? Um, see themselves in Star Wars for the first time. In addition to that, though, the Acolytes finale left the audiences with countless cliffhangers that set up the stage for season 2. Now, numerous questions and mysteries about the Acolyte remain, and sadly, they seem unlikely to ever be resolved unless they make, like, I don't know, a comic, a terribly poor written comic about the show as a continuation. However, the fans haven't given up yet, and they don't seem likely to abandon hope anytime soon. Oh, God. Rather, social media has been flooded with messages of support for the Acolyte and outrage over this decision, most of which are tied to renew the Acolyte. The real fans love this show. The ones who are celebrating its cancellation will hate anything that dares to be new and different. Yes, that's why they hate it, because it's new and different. You're literally gonna leave it like that? This story isn't finished, and it would be such a shame for it to leave it as is. So at the very least, bring it up at least bring it to the comics. Yeah, there you go. Just bring it to comics. Sadly, it doesn't seem likely Disney will reconsider the decision not to renew the Acolyte for a second season, as the company's silence on the matter feels as though it speaks for itself. Nevertheless, it's clear the Acolyte fans aren't ready to give up hope yet. Might as well just stop doing it, because again, even if the show had like 5 million views consistently or 11 million views, you would have to get more than that to prove that people want the show back. And yet the movement online in defense of the show doesn't appear to be losing. It will. While the Acolyte remains canceled for now, it is heartwarming to see many Star Wars fans unified to defend the show. Seriously, no comments yet? I mean, it is Screen Rant, so I mean, oh, but yeah, you see a lot of these. Just people like, oh, you didn't like the show, it's because you're racist. No, the show sucked. It just sucked. Every time I do this, I'm doing this and I see Anduin. Why is Anduin trending? What did Anduin do? And when they say Anduin, you mean Manduin. Look at that man right there. Oh, Khadgar. Why did you leave us? But yeah, these are people who don't watch the show for the fandom or for the show itself. These people watch the show for representation. And if that's why you're watching the show, why? Well, I was never going to watch the show. I've never heard of Star Wars. I've never seen a Star Wars movie or played a Star Wars game. I don't know any of the characters in Star Wars. But the show has representation, so I'm excited to check it out. And then people, you wonder why there are people saying that these people who are like this are tourists. They don't actually care about the series. So when things get fucked up like lore and characters, they don't care because they don't actually care about the series. Lord of the Rings and Rings of Power, when you have them fucking up the lore. I mean, it's the Second Age, and people have wanted to see it, and there's material about the Second Age. But when you take material that has been given to you, and you fuck around with it, people are going to get pissed. If you're a fan, you're going to be pissed. The ones who don't care about the lore or the characters or having the lore fucked up are the tourists, the ones who are just stopping in because, oh, this show has the first black female dwarf. Or, oh my god, a black elf. And oh my god, Guy Ladriel is so strong, stunning, and powerful. She was somehow able to take on the Numenorians all by herself. Even though they're like the best fucking warriors Middle Earth can produce, but no, somehow she can take them down all by her lonesome, despite that she has never been privy with a sword. That's why people hate people like this. It's because they are tourists. They're just passing through simply because, oh my god, strong black women and gazies, and oh my god. And so while you continue to ruin the IP, ruin the fandom, ruin the series of whatever, it's the true fans that are having to with the blowback from that. So when all these fandoms just keep crumbling, and these people don't care because they're not real fans. They don't give a shit. All they care about is representation and inclusion and diversity and seeing themselves on screen. When people are playing games and watching movies and reading comics about like anthropomorphic fucking cats and dogs and we can see ourselves in those characters because of what they represent as a character. But yet these people are like, oh my god, I can't relate to this character because this character is clearly white, like mayonnaise white, and I am black, and I cannot relate to this character because they are not the same skin color than me. Sure, they might be a good person and they might represent the same values as me, but I just can't see myself in them because they're white. They are white. Meanwhile, the rest of us normal people look at fucking people like Goku and other characters that we know don't exist as like, by the gods, that's exactly what I want to look like. You know? But they're just miserable people. They're fucking tourists coming through, ruining fandoms, calling us the wrong ones here. Oh, you don't like it? It's because you're a racist bigot. No, it's terrible writing. The writing is made for people like you, the tourists, for whatever reason. When they know full well that it's going to push back 99% of the fan base, they're catering to the small group of people on here like them. They're catering to them. They're catering to them. And then when the show fails, they don't want to accept the responsibility for it. Instead, it's like, it's the racist fault. They're just review bombing the show. They're just racist, bigoted homophobes, and they vote for Donald Trump, and they probably kick puppies, and they don't say "I love you" to their grandmothers, and I bet they'd never even hugged their mom before. I bet you they'd never even hugged their mom because they're such miserable people, and they have doo-doo in their souls because they do not like the Acolyte. Well, if you don't like the Acolyte, well, don't you have a clan meeting to go to? Because it's exactly what you are. You're just a member of the clan. So, when people call you names for not wanting to like a show because it's got, just ignore it. Honestly, I've said before, if they want to say that you're a fucking Nazi or something because you don't like it, easiest thing to do is just, I'll fucking Hitler, bitch. The words they spew mean nothing anymore. They mean nothing. Racist, bigot, homophobe, transphobic, whatever. They mean nothing because that's all these people have. Every single time we don't like something because of poor writing, it's always the same. Racist, bigot, homophobe, transphobe, Nazi, this. They keep using those words. I don't think they mean what they think they mean. But yeah, people are trying to get the Acolyte back. Again, 11 million views for episode 1. And just say if it had steady 11 million or just 10 million, they would need to get more than that to get the show back. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, the Acolyte has left the building. But, yeah. These people just don't know. They don't know when to stop. They're defeated. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. Don't you underestimate my power. No, don't do it. I'm done. I'm done here. Bye.